Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find latest album reviews. You can find our band interviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. I've been posting a ton of stuff, live sets, album reviews, band interviews. Definitely check the channel if you haven't in a while. A ton of stuff this week. Check out our album review of With Sales Ahead, an awesome local New Jersey band that's been killing it. I'm excited that this record is coming out the same day as this one is, and I definitely feel like you should go check it out if you get the chance to. And if you've missed out on a lot of stuff, make sure that subscribe button, make sure hit that thumbs up button, also make sure hit that bell so you get notified of when anything comes out. I post a lot of stuff, so make sure to check back with the channel for that. So thank you to Dan and the rest of Sylvania Avenue. I think you guys are on the rise. Hopefully you guys will be coming out to New Jersey real soon. I'd love to see you guys play live. But tonight we're going to be talking about Sylvania Ave's new EP. They're self-titled. So like I mentioned previously, they have been on the channel before. If you haven't checked out their music, links will be in the description where you can go find out about their band. But it's been a while since I've chatted with them, so maybe we should do another one. Dan, Sylvania, if your DIs are down, love to do another one. But they're releasing this album as of today, so definitely check it out if you get the chance to. It's really interesting. I think it's really unique. I think it's something that, again, I don't feel like I throw unique around too much, but to me, it was very interesting. Not coming from this sort of musical background, it was a nice change of pace for me to listen to and kind of grow from in terms of a reviewer aspect. So I'm gonna go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on the whole thing, give some pros and cons on the record, and then finish it out with an overall rating. So the first track on the record is called Oxygen. This one has a really nice grittiness to it, and I think that is really synonymous throughout this entire EP. I feel like a lot of bands don't have this sort of naturalness or grittiness to their vocals, or just in general. This one feels very, I wouldn't even say it's like bad recording, it's just that it's very like, aesthetically not the best, but at the same time I think it's very cool at the same time, because not a lot of bands do this. I think it's very kind of like original. I think the sound that I attribute this most to, and obviously it's not the same sort of sound, is the Black Keys. They have that sort of just, I don't know, that sort of old school vibe to the way they do things and the way they write and the way that it sounds, and I feel like they are very much in the same vein as that. And again, I don't feel like I hear it a lot. I don't. Most bands are very polished, very kind of like meticulous about how they do stuff, and this one just seems kind of like, a rock with a lot of edges on it, and I don't mind that at all. I think it's really cool. Again, I think it's really unique, and I think that was something that caught my ear right off the bat. I also feel like something else that caught my ear initially is how Dan's vocals are. I think they are very unique. His styling is very atypical of what you hear from a lot of different artists in the sort of surrounding genres. It's got a very grittiness to it. It's got almost like, I don't want to describe vocals as like meatiness, but it's definitely got that like thickness that just is like super primo that you don't get to hear a lot, and I enjoy that. I think it's really interesting, and it's something that makes me come back and listen to not only Oxygen, but a lot of the songs off this EP. Is just the way he, is able to use his vocals in a unique way and a unique perspective. I also feel like vocally, Billy adds a lot of interesting stuff as well too. He does this sort of call and return to Dan's vocals, but I also feel at certain points he feels very similar to the way that Dan sounds, and sometimes it's hard for me to kind of differentiate the two. But at the same time, you can hear kind of the tonal differentiations between the two at the same time. I think it's maybe just in certain parts of songs where it just kind of feels exactly the same or very similar. So my ears kind of get that sort of like, oh, it's got to be Dan, but at the same time it might be Billy, so who knows. And I think that that's really cool. It was totally gave me this interesting feeling, and I also feel like it gives you something to expect from the rest of the record. So we're going to move it into track number 2, which is You'll Never Know. This one has more of a swing to it, which I really like in comparison to the previous track, Oxygen, this one has definitely more of a punch to it, more of a, again, swing to it, which I really like. I feel like the drumming is definitely the focal point of this track. It is something that just kind of grabbed my ear initially, and it kind of is something that I pick out every time I go through this track. I feel like the snare is more specifically the sound that I pick out in this track. This one is a shorter one, but it is a sweet track regardless. So we're gonna move into track number 3, which is Without You. This song carries a lot of emotion throughout, and I definitely feel like it starts off softer and builds towards the end, both emotionally and instrumentally. And that was something that caught my ear right off the bat. And it happens to be one of my favorite tracks off the EP too, just because I had this emotional connection to the lyrics as well as like sonically. I feel like it is one of the most mature tracks that they've done in terms of more melodic tendencies. It has a little bit more of a ethereal, like almost ambient sort of feel to it, which I like, especially towards the beginning half. I would say later on it becomes a little bit more, heavier. But for the most part, I really enjoyed a lot of this track. Again, I feel like emotionally, I think it draws a lot of connections, and that is why I feel like this one is a great one to listen to. Instrumentally, it's one of my favorites. I feel like they took a lot of risks with this one, much like another track that I'll be talking about further on. But I like the chances they took. I think that they did a really good job with this one. And I just like kind of like the broken downness of Dan's vocals in this track. So we're gonna move into track number 4, which is Your Favorite Ghost. This one is definitely picking up the energy, especially after Without You. That one kind of, I don't feel like it's a low point, but it definitely brings down a little bit more of that energy, kind of brings you in, draws you in, and this one kind of just, slaps you right in the face. This one has some great swing to it, much like You'll Never Know. I think that those comparisons you can draw between those two songs. It seems like a fun song. It definitely feels like more of a live song, in my opinion. I think that I wasn't nearly as hyped listening to this song as I was to maybe Without You, for sure. I think that that one is the track to beat so far. But this one just, I think, would play out a lot better live, much like the next track I'll be talking about. I feel like these two tracks really would play better live in just a live setting where you can feed off the energy, as opposed to Without You and another track that I'll be talking about later on. I feel like those tracks feed off of more of listening with your ears and kind of getting into that mode, as opposed to, Your Favorite Ghost and Me and My Friends. So speaking of Me and My Friends, track number 5, I feel like this one has more of a pop punk root to it, especially in the choruses. You can hear that sort of pop punk aesthetic, which I like. I like that they're drawing a little bit more of a different influence into their music. I mean, I don't know if I know that's entirely not what they're going for, but I feel like I got some pop punk roots from that one, for sure. It feels like the structurally most soundtrack. I really enjoyed the structure, the way it went, the high energy that it brings into this one as well. And I appreciate the sort of bitey instruments and vocals. It just kind of just has that grit to it, which I like, and just that aggression that just sticks out a lot in this one. Again, I feel like it translates better live. I mean, I was getting into it, but at the same time, I feel like I would be even more into it in a live setting, as opposed to, just listening to it with headphones on. So we're gonna move into the last track, track number 6, which is Falling Asleep. This one has probably my favorite groove off the entire record. It's a little bit less in your face, which is nice in comparison to the past 2 tracks, Your Favorite Ghost and Me and My Friends. Those are a little bit slower, or I mean a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive, more in your face. This one definitely takes more of the melodic approach, much like Without You. And I definitely feel like they're saving the best track for last. I feel like this one and Without You, the sort of slower tracks, fit more into my wheelhouse. It could be totally different for you guys, but to me, I felt like those tracks stuck out to me the most. They experimented a lot with this one. They took more of a chance melodically, and it just feels more ethereal, has this sort of ambient space to it, which I really appreciate about this track too. And I like that they did something different. I think it shows a lot of growth, and it shows just a different side of what they're able to do and what they're able to accomplish. So some pros and cons. I like the diversity. There are some fast tracks, there's some soft tracks, there's some slow tracks, there's some high energy tracks. I think it's a nice mix of the three, and then Oxygen kind of fits in that in between where it's kind of heavy, but at the same time it's kind of like soft. At the same time, it has melodicness to it too. Um, but for the most part, really enjoyed this record. Some cons that I have, I feel like vocally, Dan and both Billy can do a lot more vocally. I would love to hear more, I guess, more reserved, because I know that they have done a lot of sort of, I guess, grittiness to their vocals. I'd love to hear them kind of like dial it back a little bit and do, a track like Without You or like Falling Asleep with some really interesting cleans. And obviously, with them being two vocalists, I would love to hear some more like harmonization, some more play off of each other. I feel like that was lacking, and the only track that I feel like they did that in was Oxygen, and maybe a few others, but definitely Oxygen for sure. I'd love to hear that kind of play back between the two. I think that would be really good to add into the repertoire, at least in my opinion. I also enjoyed a pro that I enjoyed was just how natural it was, how kind of unpolished it was. And I know that a lot of people love this sort of polished stuff, and I like that too, but I felt like this one just kind of took a different approach to it, and I appreciate the sort of, I wouldn't even say unhinged nature of it. I just appreciate the sort of different approach that they were going for in this track. I think it worked out. And just this album, it worked out too. I really enjoyed that. And, I think for me, just not listening to any of this sort of stuff prior to this, I think it was good. I think overall, there were some really unique aspects to what they do. I think that they can definitely improve on this for sure. But I'm not going to say it's bad by any means. I think that it's, again, has a unique sound. Dan and Billy, both respectively, have really great vocals, and I would just love to hear them be expounded upon in future releases. I think sonically, they can definitely do some more stuff too. But for the most part, just kind of being a intro record to me and maybe a lot of other people that are listening and watching this, I think it's a solid record. I definitely feel like it's one that you should go give a listen. So my overall rating for Sylvania Ave's self-titled record, I'm going to be giving it a 9.1 out of 10. I think it's one that you should go check out. Like I said, links are in the description. Go subscribe to them. Go thumbs up their videos. Go check out their stuff. They're really awesome, down-to-earth dudes that I would love to see succeed. So definitely go check out their music. Again, links are in the description. If you enjoyed this review, let me know in the comments what your favorite track is, what your thoughts are on it. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I'd love to hear some commentary on that in the comments section below. And again, if you enjoyed this review, please subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up. We also have new merch designs. There's always a link to our merch store in the description. If you'd like to pick something up, bless up to you guys. Thank you so much for your support over these past couple months of 2018. I'm excited to bring some awesome new stuff to you in the coming months. And thank you guys for watching this video. My name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, of course. If you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.